And welcome back to Let's Play Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers. I'm Wodball, and I'm your long player for today. And we are going to jump back into the world of Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, in case you need a recap, let's go restore the game, and I'll catch you up to what exactly has happened since the last time we saw Gabriel Knight and his antics. So last we saw Gabriel, he went to the St. John's Eve celebration for Voodoo enthusiasts, as it were. And he ran into his current girlfriend, Malia Getty, who, as it turns out, is being ridden, as Professor Hartridge would say, by a Loa named Tetelo, or might not be a Loa, we're not quite sure. But we do know that this spirit doesn't particularly like Gabriel. Right at the height of the celebration, when they're about to kill him, he gets rescued by Grace. Not quite sure how she managed to get him out of the circle. One would guess that they weren't really paying attention. They were more paying attention to Tetelo or whatever. In any case, Grace just told us, basically, call Wolfgang, and that's what we're gonna do. Because we gotta discuss what exactly happened. So in case you don't remember the number, do I even remember the number? Ah, yes. 909-324-3333.
Guten Tag, Sie haben Schloss Ritter erreicht?
This is Gabriel Knight. Can I speak to Wolfgang, please?
Ja, Herr Knight. Einen Moment, bitte.
Gabriel, it's so good to hear your voice. I had such a dream last night.
There's a good reason for that, Uncle Wolfgang. We need to talk.
Gabriel fills in Wolfgang on the events of the previous evening.
Ah, it is even worse than I thought.
You bet it is. We have to talk about what I'm supposed to do.
We don't know what Wolfgang looks like, hence he doesn't have a portrait like everyone else does. But we're gonna have to run down the dialogue tree because we haven't asked him about anything yet.
What can you tell me about Voodoo?
It sounds as though you have learned much during your investigation in New Orleans. Perhaps you will fill me in when we have a chance to sit down and talk.
What can you
It sounds...
What do you know about the Voodoo murders?
I know only what you have told me. They seem to be very similar to the killings in Gunther's journal.
What do you know?
I know...
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Gotta stop
It
asking
was
people
just
this.
another American city to me until I started dreaming about you. Now I feel it is not safe for you there. I wish you would leave.
What can you
I told you I wish you would leave there, Gabriel.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I have not studied the subject. I have an intense dislike for them.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I'm afraid I've never heard of it.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
No, I'm afraid not.
Seems like a U.S. voodoo figure.
I've heard rumors of a secret hound fool here in New Orleans.
Yeah, I am sure they have a temple there, and probably a very elaborate one. You should not go near it, though. Not alone.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Yes, Tetelo's people wear animal masks for their rituals, don't they? It is not at all uncommon. Many occult groups are based heavily on animal totems. Animals have such pure, primal traits. Spirituality, good or bad, is about reaching these pure levels. Aggressive and cunning like the snake, agile and nurturing like the monkey. Even our family is associated with the image of a lion.
Wasn't that on the talisman? Looked like a... or... if it wasn't a lion, looked kind of like a manticore or something.
Do you know anything about Veves?
It is a visual symbol of one or more lore. Each lore has its own sign, which is used to summon it.
Do you know anything else about bebes?
I've already given you what limited knowledge I have on the subject.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
Damballa is a snake. He is a Loa, a Voodoo god.
Yes, he's one of the primary Loa of the Gedi tribe.
I see. Good work. That information might prove useful.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
It is a Voodoo Loa, is it not?
Yes, a particularly nasty one, so I understand. Have you come across anything about it in your research?
He seems to be feared by most Voodoo groups. I haven't come across very much specific information.
Do you know anything about Black Voodoo?
My library contains many books on the occult and religions, and I have read about some particularly evil Voodoo cults. But you, at this point, have more direct experience than I.
You're darn right. Now we find out what the heck does Schottenjäger mean.
What can you tell me about Schattenjägers?
Yes, of course. I sometimes forget how little you know of the family, Gabriel. I never understood how Heinz could allow his sons to remain ignorant. But now is not the time for that discussion. Schottenjäger is really two words in English, Gabriel. Schatten means shadow, and Jäger means hunter.
Shadow Hunter?
Yes, shadow hunter.
Anything else I should know about Schottenjäger?
Tell me more about Schattenjägers.
We Ritters have been Schattenjägers for many centuries. No one is sure when it began or how, but we have records of ancestors as early as the 13th century fulfilling this role. Some believe that the role was given us when... But such fantasies cannot be of use to you at the moment, Gabriel.
Tell me more about Schattenjägers.
Most people are completely blind to the fact that evil does exist. It is out of vogue at the present, but I tell you, shadows of darkness, spirits, vampires, witches, demons, these things are real. It is to their advantage that the world has become so scientific, so cynical. But we know they exist, Gabriel, and we hunt them.
How do we hunt them? And why?
Why? Because it is our duty. We are the ones who know, Gabriel. As for how, that is something you will have to learn. But it is not easily explained over the phone.
Tell me more about...
We can talk more about that later, Gabriel. For now, you know enough.
That's not much to go on.
Do you know anything about Rada drums?
Rada drums? You mean ceremonial drums?
Yes. The Gedi tribe uses drummers around the French Quarter as relay messengers to keep track of their business.
Those drums have a ceremonial use, too. It would be useful to know their code, Gabriel.
I had Grace find some information on them.
That's my boy.
Delegating tasks.
Tell me about yourself.
I hope there will be time for that later, Gabriel, after this is all over. For now, we must deal with the matter at hand.
Well, the matter at hand is Tetelo. What do we do about Tetelo?
Tell me about Tetelo.
Well, from your description of the ritual last night, I'd say that Gunther's mistress, Tetelo, is now the primary Loa for the Gedi tribe. It seems she still controls them by possessing her female descendants and speaking through them. You remember in Gunther's journal he said that Tetelo was possessed by her father's Loa during the killings in Charleston?
This sounds similar, but Tetelo has obviously become a much more powerful Loa than her father ever was. Probably because of the added power of the talisman.
More about Tetelo.
Tell me more about Tetelo.